Welcome back, Saints. I'm Olivia Olson.
And I'm Bree Boley.
And this is SFHS Today. In international news, according to CNN, Iran is pursuing a lawsuit against the U.S. and President Trump over the killing of Soleimani. Iran is working to file a criminal case against the U.S. Army, government, and President Trump in the International Criminal Court.
In national news, last Wednesday, the House sent 2 articles of impeachment to the Senate, setting in motion only the 3rd presidential impeachment trial in American history, according to the New York Times.
In local news, former students Sammy and Cindy Shiktovich's father won $100,000 in the lottery.
This week, reporters Brett Overvold and Zach Raff went out to learn more about the impeachment process and what is currently happening with President Trump's impeachment.
I'm Brett Overvold.
And I'm Zach Raff.
And we're here to get you the inside scoop on what impeachment is all about.
Let's go.
Impeachment means, very simply, that the House has determined that, in this case, the President of the United States has either violated fundamentally his oath of office or has acted in a way that's inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States. When the majority is so voted, the President is, in fact, impeached. Okay, Donald Trump has been impeached. Second step in the process involves removal. Impeachment is not the same as removal. The Senate will determine as to whether President Trump is going to be removed from office, and that means there's going to be a trial, okay? Now, there were 2 articles. One, abuse of Congress, essentially, and 2, usurpation. This is how the founders would describe it, but he basically abused his power, the power of the office of the President of the United States. In the Senate trial, they will decide that should he be determined guilty of either one of these 2, he will in fact be removed from office. But to be impeached is not to be removed from office. We've got 3 presidents that were impeached, Trump and Bill Clinton and Andrew Johnson. None of the 3 was removed from office. Richard Nixon would have been. However, Nixon never went through the formal impeachment process, so neither was he ever tried in the Senate. Okay? So the big thing is, to be impeached is not to be removed from office. Only the Senate can do that.
On July 28th, junior Gabby Hoefs was diagnosed with cancer.
Gabi has Hodgkin's lymphoma disease. Here's reporter Jake Ferguson on her story.
So Gabby got diagnosed with stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma.
What was it like finding out that you have cancer?
I was shocked, but I didn't really know what to expect. Well, for my inpatient rounds, I have to stay in the hospital for 3 days. And then when I was really sick, it was 26 days.
I remember finding out about Gabby, actually hearing that Mr. and Mrs. Hoefs' daughter had a cancer diagnosis. And I said, what? Gabby? Gabby's my student. She was fine when she left at the end of last year. What happened? And I didn't know she had been sick. I didn't know about any of the information for quite a while. And then I was able to get some updates, and I had a really hard time reading the Caring Bridge website without a lot of tears. And I still kind of tear up thinking about Gabby, but the great thing is she is so strong, and she is a warrior. I just love that name and the t-shirts and everything that people have done for her, and I'm so proud of her that she has come through this experience and still working hard and still fighting the fight that she needs to fight. So good job, Gabby. Team Gabby is behind you and proud of her.
How are your parents handling this?
I mean, it's hard for them, but they're getting through it. But I feel like my sister is having the hardest time with it. Coaches for cancer fundraiser and raised $3,800. So yeah, we have a GoFundMe page. I think it's just Gabby Hoefs, and we raised $6,000 so far.
When I first heard that she got diagnosed with cancer, it didn't feel real, and I didn't expect any of my friends to ever get cancer, and I just think it made our friendship stronger.
What are you doing to catch up with your peers in school?
Basically just show up to school as much as I can, and just talk to people at lunch and in the hallways. Yeah, I have a tutor for math coming, and then and I have online school.
When I found out she was diagnosed with cancer, it was kind of upsetting at first, I can't lie, I did cry. But I knew that she could get through it because she's a strong person, and I just stayed by her side through the whole thing.
As a friend?
No, I did not think I was going to lose her as a friend. If anything, I feel like it brought us closer. And I just stayed by her side, like I said, the whole time, so no.
Are you done with chemotherapy?
Yes, I'm done with it. Then I get the results on Thursday.
This week, some of our reporters went out to find more on how the Knowledge Bowl season is going.
Here's Cody Perfetti in East Enoch on the Knowledge Bowl.
What is Knowledge Bowl?
Knowledge Bowl is when schools form teams of up to 6 people and they go to other schools and compete in a general knowledge test, I guess you'd say. It's 3 groups in a room and they buzz on a strip based on a question.
Why do you do Knowledge Bowl?
I think it's fun and it's nice learning new things, and the people I do it with are my friends, and that's really it.
How often do you guys meet?
We meet Tuesdays and Thursdays every week, and then meet sometimes on weekends or Tuesdays or Thursdays.
It's fun and I get to learn things.
I joined it because I knew people in the program and I just thought that it would be a fun competition to be a part of.
This past Tuesday and Wednesday was the Courage Retreat.
Gabby Giving was at the Courage Retreat. Here's her report on how it was.
A one-day program where we take a whole grade, the whole 7th grade, and we do games, small groups, stories, dancing, and the whole goal of it is, by the end of the day, each 7th graders has an opportunity to commit to an act of everyday courage. The courage it takes to be themselves, to stand up for what's right, to maybe make a change in the way that they're treating themselves and others.
What did you do as a leader? We were able to lead small group discussions with the students, and we led by question prompts and stuff.
Yeah, and during the day, it was just a matter of us leading by example for the 7th graders, because we had to have a lot of high energy, but not enough that they're gonna like freak out during the day. Mm-hmm. It was just a lot of crowd control.
Yeah.
And also being there for them during
yeah.
all those discussions.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the experience that was most important for me was just like the leadership experience and getting to see the progression throughout the day in the different small groups of how we can start to change these 7th graders' point of view even over just a few hours.
And why do you do it when they're 7th graders?
I think 7th grade is a perfect time to do it because they're not like maybe too old or too cool, to like have fun. At the same time, they're kind of, they still want to have like fun as a kid. So it's like that middle space is like the perfect, like they'll take old enough to take it seriously, but also young enough to have like a lot of crazy fun.
Grace Kolb went out to get our 5 minutes of fame with HOSA, Miss Sinner, and her HOSA program.
Student celebrities everywhere, this is why you should care about 5 minutes of fame.
To a new school, and on top of that, leading HOSA.
It was fun coming to a new school. It's exciting. It also was kind of scary because it was my first year ever teaching. And HOSA was a new experience for me also. I was learning along with everyone last year, and this year's a lot better. I'm a lot more organized and know what's going on because I know what to expect. So this year's been a lot better.
We competed in HOSA Bowl and we won the first one, and then we lost the second one unfortunately, but we did lose to the person who came in second. We toured St. Paul College and really got to try a lot of hands-on things and really see what we want to do in the medical field.
We have 3 events that we do. Our first event is in the fall, and that is we have like we have 2 learning days where they bring in speakers and we get to do some hands-on things.
We have a state competition coming up in a few months, so we're starting to study for that more. There we'll just kind of do a few different things medical-wise. Some of it will be like test taking, just proving our knowledge, and then others will be like competitions where we have to prove our skills and techniques in certain procedures. One of the more popular one is like ankle wrapping, so sports medicine.
Last week, a petition went around SF to try and get permission to wear hats in school.
The petition was started by Aslan Novotny and Jasper Clear and quickly gained over 600 signatures. Reporters Zach Graff and Brett Overvald are back to tell you what's going on.
We're doing a petition to allow hats in school. We don't think it's a problem if you wear hats.
I mean, honestly, I don't think it's a big problem. Honestly, I'd say we have a good amount of support. We have about 420 signatures just starting from yesterday.
We're about a full day in and we got 420.
Yeah, and it's not just students that have signed, it is staff as well.
We're about 10 staff members.
So I think the petition could potentially be something, we probably would bring to our school leadership team meeting, and then also might be something that they would need to present to the board. Any sense?
So why do you guys want to be able to wear hats in school?
Some days you wake up, you got some bad hair. You just throw on a hat and you're good.
Yeah, and like, some people wear it to rebel. I mean, I just wear it because I've always worn hats. But certain people of the staff yell at certain students.
It feels like we're targeted.
It feels like we're targeted.
Because there will be more people with hats next to us, and then it's just us.
Yep.
Doesn't make any sense.
Because of our history with the school, even if it's not even bad.
Would you like to see your students be able to have a say and maybe overturn this rule?
I think it's important for them to have that say. Just because they have that doesn't mean that we would totally change it, but I think it's good to get their viewpoint on it. And then also looking at if there's any other issues that we would need to look at. But I think it's good, and I think there'll be that opportunity. I think there'll be a couple opportunities for students to potentially talk to our school leadership team, and then also talk potentially to the school board as they get closer to doing this policy. It will take some time, but we'll see.
Let's go to RQT with Louisa Fontana and Jared Hayter.
This week's random question is, what's your go-to midnight snack?
It's the random question thing, ding.
What's your go-to midnight snack?
I don't know. What's yours?
I don't know. What's yours?
My go-to midnight snack is shredded cheese, straight from the bag, fridge still open, all the lights are off, just me and the cheese.
My go-to midnight snack is probably popcorn or a thick crust pizza.
My go-to midnight snack is popcorn and ice cream.
Double stuffed Oreos, definitely 100%.
Saints, now we'll head over to sports.
Howdy there, Saints. I'm Jordan Haller, and this is our sports. The boys basketball team had a hard loss against Hermantown last week, 91-63. Kensa Jackson had a couple three-pointers, and young Caden Waller had a few steals. They have games this week tonight at 7 at Big Lake High School, and a Friday home game against Cambridge Isani at 7:15. The girls basketball team was busy last Monday beating up the Coon Rapids Cardinals 48-45. Madison Rothbauer and Eve Schultz were sinking threes like no one's business. This week, they play Big Lake tonight at 7:15 at home. Then they head up to Cambridge on Friday to beat them up at 7:15. One of our reporters went out and got to talk to Emma Kopet.
I think Emma Kopet is a standout student athlete here. She's not only currently on the basketball court and a senior and a leader for us, but she's also was an integral piece of our soccer team this fall. Emma's consistently battling injuries, and she doesn't complain about it. She doesn't make excuses. She just comes and shows up every day, works extremely hard, and is a tremendous asset to not only our school, but our basketball program, as well as our other athletic programs. So Emma Kopet, hats off to you. Nice job.
Emma's a really fun person to be around. She's very confident and is always finding the good in things. I think she's a good role model for a lot of people.
What do you find most enjoyable in playing basketball?
I think just like the environment and then the people that I'm around.
How long have you been playing basketball?
Since like 2nd or 3rd grade.
What makes you a good leader on the basketball team?
I think just all the experience I've had playing basketball. I played AAU basketball for several years throughout middle school and the beginning of high school, and I think I just have a really good understanding about the game that I can share with other players.
What's it like having Emma as a teammate?
It's really nice having her as a teammate. She's always there for you and always is there to encourage you, and it's really fun to be around. She's super competitive and just brings a lot of energy to the team.
What does it mean to be a captain on the basketball team?
I think there's a lot of responsibilities that come with being a captain, both on and off the court. Like, off the court, I need to be a role model in the classroom and set those expectations for my teammates, as well as like on the court. I need to be a leader and like hustling and also just like being positive and effort.
Well, I was lucky enough to be on the coaching staff for 3 years with Emma when she played, and one of her best attributes is her competitiveness. She's always competing, whether it's a drill or a game. Another thing is she works extremely hard to improve her skills. I've really noticed in the last couple of years she's improved on her outside shot and some of her ball handling, and she's just a great leader.
What advice do you give to the future St. Francis basketball players?
Always work hard, give your best effort, and always remember your why. So why do you play the game that you love?
Hunter Dustman has a little basketball midseason update for you guys.
How's your new coaching staff?
Our new coaching staff this year is a lot of fun. They're really positive, even though we're not doing the best.
What are you looking forward to in the next couple of years?
We're pretty young now, so we'll have more experience on the court together in the future years.
How many players did you lose last year?
We lost 9 players.
How did that impact your team this year?
Well, they were all a big role, so we have been trying to find a new lineup every
How's
game.
your first season of varsity basketball?
It's a whole different experience, but I'm trying my hardest, and it's really fun.
What are you looking forward to for the rest of the season?
Just finishing out the season strong and doing good in sections.
What are some things you can improve on as a team to finish out the season strong?
I think the main thing that we need to work on is effort and communication on the defensive end of the ball.
How's your season going so far?
It's not going as expected, but we're improving every game.
How are the underclassmen looking in the next couple of years?
Well, we already have a lot of underclassmen that are playing currently for varsity, so as they get older, they're only going to get better and help the program improve.
Boys hockey got themselves a nice W on Tuesday and whooped up on the Chisago Wildcats 4-2. On Thursday, they played Anoka and had their first tie. It was 4-4, and they went in overtime and no one scored. This week, the boys have a home game against Duluth Marshall at 7 and an away game at 7 on Saturday against the North Branch Vikings. The girls hockey team took a loss in a close game last week against Princeton 4-3. This week, they play Pequot Lakes at the home barn at 7 tonight. On Friday, they play Cambridge for a 7 o'clock puck drop. Last week, the wrestling team lost against Becker and beat North Branch in their try. Joey Lipinski got his 75th career win, and Grant Woodruff took down the number 3 kid in AA at 138. This week, they wrestle Cambridge Isani at home on Thursday. It's also parent night that night. Reporter Mason Felt got a little more info about last week's meet.
How did the try go for you against North Branch and Becker?
It went really well. I went 2-0 with 1 pin and the match to the decision 5-0.
Who is your match against?
I think his name was Lucas Paulson. He's ranked number 3 in AA right now at 138.
What gave you the edge in your match?
He was beating me 2-0, and then I ended up taking him down and almost getting a turn on him. And I think that got in his head, and he kind of broke down from there, and I started getting more in his head and eventually winning the match.
The girls' gymnastics lost their meet last Thursday against Big Lake, and this week they have a home meet against Princeton at 6:30. Then on Saturday, they have a Cambridge Isani invite meet. Last Friday, a snowstorm came in, and after-school activities got canceled, as well as some Saturday activities. One of our reporters got a little more information on the situation.
Canceling things is really, really challenging because it impacts so many different people, different student athletes, different coaches, parents, and not just from our school, but from other schools.
How do you feel about the snow canceling your games and practices?
Well, it can be kind of frustrating. For example, we're supposed to play Monticello today. We don't play them. Our game got rescheduled for, I believe, February 10th, which is a Monday. So now we end up playing them twice in 1 week. And not having practice is obviously never anything a coach wants to do, but safety comes first, and we understand that. So,
conversations about canceling activities due to this storm that we currently are looking at started happening on Wednesday. Trying to get ahead of it because everybody scrambles at the last minute.
Now I know both the activities director here and our superintendent were part of our webinar which is through the basically through touching base with other schools and also touching base with what the current weather conditions are looking like.
Yesterday, and then the decision was made this morning just a little bit ago, and I had to notify all high school staff, our transportation department, other schools, all the judges, all the referees, all event staff that we're canceling all activities and practices tonight and all activities and practices tomorrow.
They really use as much research as they can. They consult with other superintendents, other schools to figure out what they're doing.
One of the Saturday cancellations was our one-act all-conference meet. It will now take place tonight at Monticello. The Saints perform at 5 p.m. They have a school performance this Friday for some classes during first, second, and third hours, and a public showing Friday at 7. They travel to Zimmerman Saturday for their subsections. All right, you guys, that's all we got. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week.
Now before we go, let's check out Inside SF with Reed Pastua, Tate Skolquist, and Jake Bergman.
What's up, YouTube? I'm Reed.
I'm Tate. And I'm Jake.
And we're doing Inside St. Francis.
Check it out.
On top of St. Francis. Who are you and how long have you worked here?
Dean Whitloff, head custodian at the high school here. I've been here 35 years. There's 34 custodians, and there's a first shift, second shift, and at the high school we have a third shift here. So somebody's here around the clock.
So somebody works a graveyard shift?
Yeah, there's 4 guys that work from 10 at night till 6:30 in the morning.
What is the boiler room and what does it do?
Boiler room's downstairs, just out of the office here, and it heats the school up. We have 3 boilers down there. 2 of them run on natural gas, and one is a natural gas / fuel oil backup.
When did you guys get the new natural gas boilers?
4 years ago. They put new ones in. Been running for 4 years.
And how long have the old ones been in there?
Since 1974, when the building was built.
We just got done with our package. Dean showed us the 2 new boilers that run on natural gas, and the one old one, the super big one's a backup, and it runs on diesel and natural gas, like crude diesel.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, we had no
lot.
Yeah, we had no idea that was back there.
No.
And we have 2 extra boiler rooms for the 1995 add-on
And the 2008 add-on. So like the new English hallway and then the weight room and the locker rooms, I think.
Yeah. All right, we'll catch you next time.
Well, that about wraps it up for this week, Saints. For more news, check out our website, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at sfhscrier.com. And remember, Wednesday is a 90-minute late start. Have a great week and stay safe, Saints.